Okay, so this happens a lot. I've been watching Arcane for a few years now, and I haven't really noticed it until I made my Arcane recap video. And it's really funny that I didn't notice it considering how often it happens in the series. And if you're wondering what that is, it's that the characters of Arcane keep falling unconscious for whatever reason, sometimes almost nothing at all. Seriously, I don't drink, but I really think that you can make a fun drinking game out of this. And for your convenience, I compiled all the scenes that this happens, so here they are. Let's start with this clip. And grab some glowing balls of blue light that seem perfectly safe. They were not. We quickly get to see this because the daughter of the family who owns this place, Caitlyn, and their pet dog, Project, Jayce, are heard approaching the room. The gang starts to panic and they try to escape as fast as they can. In the ensuing chaos, Powder accidentally drops one of these blue balls, causing it to explode violently. The explosion causes a rather large hole that takes about half the room out and manages to knock Jayce out. While knocked out, he has a very vivid dream about the time their attacker is a mutated Deckard with Silco behind him, finally revealing himself to Vander. He orders Deckard to knock Vander out, and they take him away. Vander regains consciousness, finding himself tied up with a clear view of the start of Shimmer production. He tries to convince Silco to stop whatever he's planning because he knows it will lead to a lot of lives being lost. Silco doesn't care and tells Vander that he's still fighting for the cause that they had years ago. He knocks Vander out again, but right before Vander blacks out, he sees Savika watching the entire thing. Wanting to help, she begins to make a makeshift explosive with the Hextech gemstones and her toy. She lets the explosive loose in the base, and it works. Again, it makes a large hole in the cannery just like in Jayce's apartment, and it ignites the shimmer stocked in the cannery. The explosion takes Deckard out, as well as Silco's goons. From a distance, Vi spots Silco with Powder and is about to run back to try and save her. However, Marcus is there, and where Marcus is, there will be no saving of people. So Marcus jumps her from behind and knocks her out with some chloroform to take her back to Piltover and put her in jail for her own good. We see that she's being ostracized by the others due to their difference in status, but she doesn't let it faze her. In fact, she's the only one actually standing guard. This leads her to spot a fire in a building nearby and a little girl shouting for help. Caitlyn and the others rush to her aid, but Caitlyn also finds the same kind of graffiti scrawled on the wall that resembles Jinx's. She calls out to her colleagues, but it's too late. The enforcers inside see a bunch of Jinx's bombs right before they explode. Caitlyn is caught in the explosion and sees Jinx as she walks away right before she loses consciousness. Victor continues to work in the lab late at night. He's having a hard time, but one of Victor's childhood friends, Sky, gives him words of encouragement. She also has a crush on Victor, so she then offers him to walk home together. And because her words of encouragement were so effective, Victor refuses the offer. A few moments after she leaves, Victor coughs up more blood and falls unconscious. Victor goes back to the lab and stares at the hex core. He notices that there's blood near it and that something has changed with it. Being a smart man and a scientist, he knew exactly what to do, but did the opposite. He touches it, and this results into him falling unconscious. Again. Anyway, what Jinx does is wait in Silco's office to ambush Savika. Once Savika comes, she knocks her out and questions her about Vi when she wakes up. Vi asks Caitlyn to bring them into one of the buildings, and there, Caitlyn tries to tend to her wounds, but Vi passes out because she keeps resisting. After years, Vi and Jinx are finally able to reunite on top of one of the highest buildings in the Undercity. The reunion is cut short, however, when Jinx sees Caitlyn. With Caitlyn being an enforcer, she thinks that Vi brought Caitlyn to take her in. They fight, and before they can clear things up, the Firelights attack. In the commotion, Jinx drops the Hextech gemstone and Caitlyn is able to retrieve it. However, with them being outnumbered, they are quickly overwhelmed by the Firelights. Caitlyn and Vi are kidnapped and they fly away. Jinx, seeing that she's all alone again, screams in agony and rage. But Victor takes this opportunity to do another thing that Heimerdinger told him not to do. He injects himself with a shimmer and cuts himself to make his blood react to the hex core again. By doing this, he is again left unconscious. While Victor enjoys a nap, Jayce goes home and sits on his bed. Ekko and Jinx have a showdown, and they duke it out, mirroring the sparring sessions they had as children. If you want to see more of the scenes the two had as children, go watch the Imagine Dragons MV, and needless to say, it's fantastic. Anyway, by memorizing her attack patterns, Ekko is able to evade Jinx's attacks, and he jumps her, taking her down and begins to beat her into submission. Before he can finish her off, he stops, remembering his childhood, and gets all sentimental. Jinx uses the chance to pull the pin of one of the grenades she was holding, and as she pulls the pin, both of them get caught in the explosion. Vi hears the explosion and places Caitlyn at a safe place. Silco rushes Jinx to Sinch, ordering him to save her. Sinch tells him that the procedure will be extremely painful, but Silco believes that Jinx can take it. Sinch then knocks Silco out to spare him the imagery of Jinx's suffering, and as Jinx convulses in pain from the shimmer variant that Sinch gives her, she imagines that it was Vi and Caitlyn that were torturing her. We jump back to Caitlyn, who is having some shower thoughts while she takes a bath, and after she finishes, she finds Jinx's monkey scribbled on her massive mirror. She turns around to find Jinx, who then knocks her out. Silco returns to the Undercity, now with a drink in his hand. He takes a seat on a statue of Vander and looks seemingly torn about what to do. Very conveniently, he thinks out loud, and because of this, Jinx, who was spying on him behind the statue, overhears everything he said and misunderstands what he meant. Again, this makes her think that he was going to give her up, so this leads her to knock him out and kidnap him. We switch back to Vi, who's out of options and decides to go straight to the last drop to confront Savika. There, they resume their now new and improved prolonged stylized fight. Savika has upgrades with her mechanical arm, while Vi has her new Atlas gauntlets. Savika gains the upper hand this time, and she puts Vi on the defensive. And it's here again that we see the adaptive nature of Hex Tech when the gauntlets put up a shield to protect Vi. With the Hex Tech catching Savika off guard, Vi uses this chance to knock her out. Dead tired, Vi crawls to the bar to catch a breather. It's here again that Jinx appears behind her and knocks Vi out. As Vi wakes up, she sees that she's tied to a chair back at the cannery. So that's 20 times. 20 times of people falling unconscious for whatever kind of reason. Anyway, I hope this video gave you a laugh and see you next time. Peace.